Beseder Gamor. Ah, Ari's here. HaKohen today. Here's the sheet there. There's a few gewaltige points today. Before we start, we see our sheet. The Gemara says in Brachas and in other places that a Kohen who killed someone, even B'shogeg, it's brought on Allah and the Shulchan. Oh, Rabbi Yamin. Good evening. There's a sheet there. Oh, and Rabbi Shlomo with the new glasses. Now, I met your son last night in the airport. He was waiting for Chaim, and we both spoke about your new glasses. Yeah. Yes. Shlomo, there's a sheet there. Here, you can take it. Okay. Shalom Aleichem, everyone. So it's a known din that someone, it's brought on Allah and the Shulchan Aruch, that someone who killed even B'shogeg, he can't duchen. Once he can't duchen, there's the Tosfos Yom Tov says in B'charis, for example, Mishnah Zayin, he also can't be an avodah. That is not so pashut. There's a Tosfos Yevamos that Zayin says maybe he gives a lot of avodah, but let's go with the Tosfos Yom Tov. So how is it that Pinchos became a Kohen due to killing? The whole killing and the Kohen are mutually exclusive.
The mitzvah for him. It's a mitzvah.
It's a mitzvah. So, you know who asked this question? You know who's the first one that asked this question? How could it be that killing, it doesn't appear on the sheet, how could it be that killing is not only did not disqualify him from being a Kohen, it enabled him to be a Kohen? The Zohar Kodesh asks it. And Chelik Gimel, Daf Reish Yudalad Amud Aleph. He asked this question. How could it be that the killing was a heksher? But let's go with and he says something about Shalom and about the Chesed and, the Zohar. But let's take Reb Shlomo's approach. What was Reb Shlomo saying? Reb Shlomo was saying, and maybe a little hagdam what Reb Shlomo was saying. The Maral says in Der Chaim, how come we find only by killing and nizikid that a shogeg gets punished? And killing, he gets punished because galus. And if I scratch my friend's car, totally by accident, adam muad lo'ilam, ben shogeg, ben mezin, he's chayav. You don't find this in any other area in the Torah. If someone will be Michal Shabbos the way someone killed in the Torah, that he came with an axe and the head of the axe flew off, it could be a shogeg, and then there's a kapara of korban. Yeah, kapara. It's not an oynish. No. It's also kapara, but for sure it's oynish. When you learn the sugya about machos, it's an oynish. He has to be locked up. It's an oynish. It's yodua. The Ritva says in the Makkos Mefarish. Of course, it's also a kapara, but it's an oynish. Why don't we find oynshin in these two areas? Says the Maharal that when it comes to ben adam lechavero, you're chayav also on shogeg. Why? Because then what's kovea is the results. What's kovea is the result, not the deed. Ben Adam leMakom, what's kovea is the deed. There's no results kapei Hashem. Im techta matifal, right? What? So it's a question if it's a rebellious act against Hashem or not. As long as it's shogeg, it's not called a rebellious act. But if you look at the result, meaning you didn't have any intention to scratch his car, but his car is scratched. He has to pay now a few £100 to iron it out. So we are result oriented when it comes to chaver. Your chaver is affected. Hi, you did it b'shogeg. You're not chayav on what you did, but you're chayav on the damage that you caused to your friend. And l'maisa, you did it. And that's what it means. He's going in the Mishnah. He's going in that Mishnah. Right? In Poland, the Moshe Shapiro used to tell us that in Yiddish they would say, Adam miyid lo'ilam. He's always tired. The person's always tired. That's how he learned the Mishnah. Anyway, I'll call upon him, what we say. So let's go on this Segura. Let me share with you an insight of Ritzler Petrover. He wrote Shuvas called Pri Yitzchak. Chelik Aleph Siman Mem Dalet. You know what he says? It says that by Aveda that Zoked ve'eno lefi chvoda his potter. But that Gemara brings a case of a Tana that he did return Lifnei B'Shur Sadin. However, that's a Gemara Brach and B'Tzeil Daf Lamed and Shvuas Daf Lamed. It says that a Talmud Chacham is not supposed to, he should not stand, even though other Eidim have to stand. He doesn't. He sits down, and we don't find Lifnei B'Shur Sadin. Lifnei B'Shur Sadin he should also stand. We don't find it. Says Reb Itzler Petrov Rabbi said, a gewaltige chiddush. Shidduch is nothing. A gewaltige chiddush. Lifnei B'Shur Sadin is only ben Adam l'chamer. There's no Lifnei B'Shur Sadin ben Adam l'makom. There's a chumrah that you can be machmer. That can. But Lifnei B'Shur Sadin does not exist ben Adam l'makom. I saw it last night inside. Rabbi say it was Kedai to come to London to share to the Olam this morning about Yitzhak Peterman. Going Olam. He writes in his Akdama, he wanted to ask Askam from Brison Salanter, his Rebbe. But he knows his Rebbe doesn't give Askamas, so he didn't ask. Mamash Baal Musa. He didn't ask. He doesn't give Askamas, but he says, Rabbi, let's try to understand this, he said. That Lifnei B'Shur Sadin is only Ben Adam L'Chameroi. There's no concept of Lifnei B'Shur Sadin. The Hezbollah is based on what we're saying now also. You tell me, guys. You tell me. What do you think this for of a pizza point of address? Lifnei B'Shur Sadin is only Ben Adam L'Chameroi, not Ben Adam L'Makom. A mega chiddush. And of course, he's answering the stira by Aveda, which has been Adam lechavero. Lifnei B'Shur Sadin, even a godel has to return it. But sitting up or standing down, standing up or sitting down. Oh, there goes the phone.
My mother.
Oh, mother.
Mother calls after.
Really? My mother also called. Okay, good. Masha Enken ben Adam le. Oh.
By going with Lifnei B'Shur Sadin, you do change the result.
Meaning, what's the reason?
Yanim gets his Aveda.
Oh, Lifnei B'Shur Sadin, I'm helping someone. I'm helping him. So do it, Lifnei B'Shur Sadin. Masha Enken K'bei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're not helping him. So if you're potter, you're potter. Why do you have to do beyond the din? If there's a chumrah, means that maybe meaning by Ben Adam L'Makom, the mice is kovea. So you could say, if the mice is okay, but if you want to be machmer, the mice is more chomer, right? The mice, meaning in the realm of a higher level, if you want to be machmer, even the mice should be done in a better way. But by Ben Adam L'Chaver, it's not the mice which is the focus; it's the results. So therefore, if mitzad din you're putter, but what about your friend? You want to still help out your friend? If you do the Lifnei B'Shur Sadin, I'll get his aveda back. So do the extra mile. Do the extra mile. Go the extra mile and do it. But not it's not the extra mile because Mocha's not going to get anything out of it. It's just, it's the deed appropriate. Well, if there's a mocham to be machmer, yeah. Now, but if it's a pidin, it's okay, fine. There's no urgency to go the extra mile. That's proportion to Svarva, when he means something to Glaser. He doesn't explain so much what he means. But it's a more thick chiddush, I say. But you hear the chiddush? From the best Spanish of Brison Salanter, that Lifnei B'Shur Sadin is only Ben Adam L'Chaver, not in Ben Adam L'Makom. Because what does that mean? It means the din says you don't have to do more, but still go ahead an extra mile. Why? Ben Adam L'Chaver, because you're still going to give him a hand. He'll get his aveda back. Take that in the cheshbon. You're going to benefit Yenim, but you don't have the back HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You don't benefit HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's just, is your deed good enough? If the din says it's good enough, fine. If there's a chumrah, meaning the deed maybe is falling a little bit short. It's okay, but not great. Okay, then do it. That's called the chumrah, but not the Lifnei B'Shur Sadin. That's what he says. I'll give another example of someone of the Torah of the Yosef Engel. Basically the Torah of the Yosef Engel, the Es with the Raisa, it's so zis. That chabura of those chevra, the Kli Chemda, the Avnei Nezer, you know that Chabura that they know Kula Kula, and it's Azoy Geshmak. You know what he says? I'll tell you, Tosis and Gittin, and that from Aleph brings out, the Mishnah says, Misha Chotzi Eved Chotzi Ben Chorn, he's stuck. He cannot get married to a Bas Chorn, and he cannot get married to a Shivcha. So he can't, and so therefore, so he can't make approval. So you have to release him. Okay? And let's see what the other be. It's mashma that if he could have gotten married to a Shivcha, what would happen then? It would have been okay. Like Tosis, if he gets married to a Shivcha, he's still not making approval. Because Vlad the Kamar say you're not making approval. So why would that be enough? Answers Tosis, if he could have got married to a Shivcha, it would have been Shevis. Not the mitzvah approval, but mitzvah Shevis. That would be enough. But now that he can't even become Shevis, he has to release the Eved. But to release him for the approval that he's not Mekayim, that you don't have to because he's an Anus. At the end of the day, this Eved won't burn in hell. That he's not getting married because he's Chatzim Chatzim, he's an Anus. So again, that's what there says. Nachamal. If he's not fulfilling Shevis, then we're going to force the other to release him. And if he could have gotten married to a Shivcha, he would have become Shevis as well. Good enough, like they say in England. Good enough. Masha'en Ken, when it comes to approval, he's not making approval now. But if he could have got married to a Shivcha, that would have been good enough. Hi, it's falling short, it's only Shevis, not approval. Well, we're not going to force the other to release him for approval, because he's an honest approval. So what's the obvious question to ask him, Teshuvos? Come on, Chevre. He's honest also on Shevis. So how come for Shevis you do release him? If you're saying that once he's honest, that's half-half. He's honest. It's not his fault. He's in a situation that he's stuck. Well, he's not going to burn in hell for that because he's honest. So therefore, for approval, I'm not going to release him. I'm not going to release him. But for Shabbos, I will force the other to release him. High is of honest. Says, that's what the right said, Mamish the Sisod. Approval is a mitzvah and other lamakom. Sheves is result oriented. Lo tobra la sheves yitzah. Because Baruch wants the word to be populated. If you focus on the result, you can't say because he's an onus he's potter. But the mice, you're not achieving the result. The world will remain barren. So when it comes to Sheves, I'm going to force the other to release him. Hi, the evidence is onus. But so what if he's honest? He's not fulfilling the result, the purpose. The purpose is the world should be populated. All mankind has to participate in this goal of populating the world. He's not doing it. Mashiach approval, here if he's an onus, what? He's butter. Because it's not, it's there's no results. It's a mitzvah. If it's a mitzvah, his hands are tied. What do you want from the guy? That's what the S of the right says. The Chabad get it? The get it, boys. It's a little bit limited, but it's okay. Nichol, does it move on? S for the right says. He's so geshmak. My voice is famous. He's gewaldig. Yeah. Yeah. If a person couldn't daven mincha because he's an onus, does he have to daven Ma'ariv twice? It's machlokes at Taz and the Drisha. And he wants to explain and make a pshah that if the davening is benadam lemakom, if you're honest, you're potter. You couldn't do it, you're potter. You don't have to make it up. But things which are that you have to have result oriented. Hey, if he's honest, so what? If he's honest, the goal is not being done. Yibamish goes with this mahalach, the Esod Deraisa, Rabbi Yosef Engel. You know what they used to say in yeshivas when I was a bocher? What's the difference between the Torah of Rabbi Yosef Engel and the Torah of Reb Chaim Brisker? Did you ever hear it? Okay, En Megalim L'Tznuim. The Torah of Reb Chaim Brisker, checkmate. Ema Lasot. Because they call it Rabbi Yosef, but the Torah of Reb Chaim Brisker is Anusa. The Torah of Rabbi Yosef Engel is Mefuta. You understand it, guys? It's so gishmak. Okay, think about it. I'm not going to explain, but think about it. But Rabbi say, what I want is also balabatim. That's for the Raisa. A kasha for Mekibega. Lama lo. It's only for Yeshiva Bochem. Huh? Right? You agree, Rabbi Posen? Iyun is not only for Yeshiva Bochem. Iyun is for everyone. Kol Yemechecha. As long as you're alive. Right? Okay, Rabbi say.
He wants to apply that to every Benadam Is never did oinus by I mean, that's just not true.
What example? Give me an example. Look it up. You have Esed Rice at home? Are you Jewish? Yeah, you are. It's Cloud Test. Look it up. He brings rice from all over Shas. No, that's a grandma. That's what's sad. Look at it. But anyway, we'll go on. I just brought it as an example. Beseder. It's all grandma. There's no chiv nizik in there. It's a chiv sherman. Okay. Anyway, I'll say. Let me get weiter. We'll go weiter on this one. Beseder. So yes, Pinchas killed, but when it comes to killing, what's the focus? It's what Adam L'chaver. So what do you focus on? The result. Look what happened. He saved Am Yisrael. What does it say? What does it say? The first pasuk. Asher kinei loka v'chapa v'lo chalisis v'nei Yisrael v'kenasi. He saved the Yidden because of that. You don't look at the deed when it comes to Ben Adam L'Chaver. You look at the result. Rabbi, so you want me to give you another example to this Yisod? I'll give you another example to this Yisod. The brothers of Yosef, come on, Chaim. If I have Kaduri today. We're missing Arav Kaduri. Okay. Rabbi, I'll give you a Yisod. After Yaakov Avinu died, and the brothers came back from burying him, they got afraid that Yosef's going to take revenge on them. So when Yosef says, what's the lesson there? You remember the lesson? What does he exactly mean? What does he exactly mean? You know what the Maral Mediskin says? The Maral Mediskin says the following. They came to Yosef and said, please don't take revenge against us. Says Yosef, I'm not God. By me, it's not been our relationship has not been Adam L'Makom. It's been Adam L'Chaver. Then what is it? It's result oriented. Look what happened. You thought for bad. You want to get rid of me, but look what happened. As a result, I became a Melech of Mitzrayim. Elokim chashva l'tova l'man asot k'yom hazeh la'achyot am rav. Look how many people are alive today because of that. Hatachas Elokim anachi means you think I'm going to judge you based according to the deed? That's how Kodesh Baruch Hu does it. I do it according to the result. And what's the result? La'achyot am rav. So why should I punish you? Why should I take revenge? That's what the Maral Diskin says. That's how I learn some psukim here. Isn't that gewaldig? Mamish gewaldig. Okay, anyways, I'm happy to see everybody's excited with me. It's gewaldig mitzuyan va'od. So this is side. So therefore, it's really what Shlomo said right in the beginning. There's no kasha to say here. Usually, killing is what disqualifies a kohen, and here the killing enabled him to become a kohen. Why? What's the answer? The result. When he kills someone innocent, Nebuch, so then he's disqualified to being a kohen. But this after the result, he saved Yidin's life. So what's the problem? The deed is the same deed, but we don't focus on the deed when it comes to Ben Adam L'Chaver. Rather, what do we focus on? Result. Okay, I'll say Hachada. That's before this sheet. I thought the oil would have Anoah from the Yitzchak Blazer. Rebuch, you have Anoah from Yitzchak Blazer? It's mamish gewaldig. Rabbi Yom, you hear the Yitzchak Blazer? Pashut nifla. And Chelek Aleph, the end of Siman Nun Dalet. I think it's only printed once. I have it in Oitzah Chachma, that's how I got to it. But Pashut, Rayon Nifla. Rayon Nifla. Now, Rabbi said, let's give a look here.
Kohen who kills somebody, because let's say someone's a roder for...
100%.
He's a soldier in the army, and he kills the...
100%, so then there will be no problem. The same logic. It says Umeferish. It says Umeferish. I'm sorry? A soldier was what? If he killed an Arab, there's a question. If he killed another Yid by accident, then I would hear. Then I could hear. Right? Okay, Chaveh, we're going now weiter with the whole Chiyus. Everybody's alive and well? We didn't meet each other for 3 weeks, Chaveh. We mamash missed each other. Nachon? Good. It's 3 weeks already? 2 weeks. 2. Oh, yeah. Right. I look at the Chabura from the prism of Rabach. He is the Pnei Chabura. He takes care of everything. So Rabbi said, look what it says here. Vayisalov lo kunas oilam tachas hashakina le'elokom. Right? That's what the pasuk says. The pasuk doesn't appear on this street, right? Yeah. So it says Rashi in letter Aleph. Vaitelo britzot bris kuhunas oilam. She'af al pi shekvar nitna kuhuna lezarah shel Aaron. What's Rashi asking? L'chor is a Kohen anyway. Who's his father? Who's Pinchas' father? Elazar. Who's Elazar's father? If you have a grandfather Aaron a Kohen, you have a father Elazar a Kohen, you're not a Kohen? Why isn't he a Kohen already? And it was given already to Aaron and Aaron. So why isn't he included? Pinchas, he's a grandson of Aaron. So he answers, Lo nitna el la'aron u'levonav shenimshechu imo. Only those that were anointed with him in Pasha Shmini. And those that were born after the anointment. אבל פנחס שנולד קודם לכן ולא נמשך, לא בא לכלל כהונה עד כאן, till now. וכן שנינו בזבוחים לא נזכר עם פנחס עד שהרגו לזמרי. Okay? So what's Rashi answer? Of course, those who were anointed, it's Aaron Uvanav, those three, Aaron and Elazar B'Samar, they became Kohanim, and the children that were born from then on are Kohanim automatically. But Pinchas was around already before. And when they anointed Aaron and Elazar B'Samar, they didn't anoint him. So he's out. So therefore he was out of this stream of Kahuna. But now he joined. But what's the obvious question to ask, Chavre? Let me be honest, so what's the obvious question to ask? Why did they anoint Pinchas? Well, they anointed Aaron, and why did they do it? He was there. So how come they ignored him? That the Maral asks. Let's give a look here in letter base. It's in the middle of the Rashi, Shanim Shechu Imo. Right? It's going in the words of Rashi. The Im Toimar. Question. If Aaron and his children were Nimshach, and Pinchas was around, so why wasn't he Nimshach also? Why not? The answer to that She'ein Moishchin Kotan. Rabbi said, it doesn't mean that you don't do a Mashiach and a Kotan, because there are a few Malachim that were Nimshach and they were 11 years old. But a Mashiach of a Kohen, you only do if he could be Oived immediately. Right? Upinchas Boto Zman Katanaya, Kishin Nimshachu Aaron Uvanav. The Maral, I looked and looked. Is there any source that others say the same answer, but it's not clear? How do you know he was a Kotan then? That's what he says he was. He was a minor. So then you don't Moshech him. Ulefikach lo shayach limshach oto. Ukeshenesa gadol, when he became bar mitzvah, how did he come in to anoint him? Look at what he's going to say here. Lo shayach limshach oto. De lo nimshachu Aaron uvonav ela keshenimshach hamishkan. Aval limshach oto achar kach lo yitachen. Look at this bomb the Maral throws. And he's doing this the whole time where he's referring to, he knows Kol HaTorah in his fingertips. And he says up side points, which are tremendous sugyas. Look what he's saying here. I'll tell you what happened. When on the due date that Aaron and his children were Nimshach, Pinchas was a minor. He was, let's say, 9 years old. You're not Moshech a minor because he can't do the avodah anyway at that stage. 4 years later, he became bar mitzvah. So do a Mashiach now. No, the Mashiach is only done when it was done together with the Mishkan and the Kelim. When you do the Mishkan and the Kelim, it includes also the Kohanim. But once the Mishkan and Kelim were anointed, and now what's left is Pinchas, who became now Gadol, you don't do it then. You do it Agav, the Mishkan and the Kelim. Psh, what a chiddush I would say. But let me tell you, he's referring to something. He's not making it up to the Maral. The Kohanim have a din of Klei Mikdash. Ari, that's you. There's a menorah, there's a shulchan, there's a mizbeach, there's a or, there's you. You know, right? The Rambam has a sefer called one of the Udal Tzorah called Hilchos Klei Mikdash. Do you know what's the full name of that part? Hilchos Klei Mikdash v'ha'oivdim b'hem. That's the full name. In the Shabbat Franken one, they always added it. Klei Mikdash v'ha'oivdim b'hem. What does it mean, oivdim b'hem? The Kohanim that work there. Rabbi say, it sounds like a mega chiddush. I'll show you, Rabbi say, it's a Beferish Yerushalmi. You give a look at the end of Brachas, towards the end of brachas. What's in brackets in letter Gimel? Minayin hamishtamesh bekuhuna mo'al. Where do you know that if you use a kohen for your personal usage, you tell him, make for me a cup of tea, or you do something like that, how do you know that you're mo'al? How would you say in English mo'al?
Desecrated.
Mo'al, okay. Besmet, what?
Desecrated.
Okay, good. We'll stick to mo'al. Okay, Reb Shlomo. So he says, so look what it says. Rav Acha b'shem Shmuel Omar. He's quoting a pasuk in Ezra. V'oimra lehen, Ezra's talking, he's speaking to the Kohanim, Atem kodesh l'Hashem v'hakelim kodesh. That's Lashon HaPasuk. Ma kelim ha-mishtamesh b'hem mo'al, af ha-mishtamesh b'kohanim mo'al. That's a Mefarish Gemara. It's a Talmud Yerushalmi. Kohanim have a din of clay mishkan. And just like if you use the clay mishkan for your own usage, mo'al, similarly, Rabbi say it's brought down in the Chelik Or Chaim of the Shulchan Aruch. There's a Mishnah on it. Siman Kuf Kaf Ches is about Kohanim. It's a very long siman, 54 siman, 45 seifim. At the end, says the Ramah. You have it here in letter Dalet. Also lishtamesh bekoyen afilu bezman hazeh. Tehave kemoyel behegdesh. Im lo mochel al kach. The Ramah paskins you're not allowed to use a coin till today. Only if the coin is mochel. It sounds it's a green open check. You could always be mochel. Look at the Mishabura, and that's for. Rabbi say it's for the doctor, the eye doctor association that they asked me to put it very little, so people should buy glasses. You see the Mishabura over there? It's a very, very, very small. Look over there, and Sivkot and Kuf Ein Dal. You see, it's a very long siman. Ta'ava kemoyel behegdesh, shari nemar v'kidashtoi, ki yislechem elokecha u'makriv, va'af achshav she'en lanu karbonos b'kedushos hayu omed. Umishum ze asur begrusha uletam l'meisim. Till today, a Kohen's not allowed to get married to a grusha. Hey, there's no more Mr. Mikdash now. So what? He still has his grusha. Next Mishabura. Im lo mochel lakach, amal im mochel mutar. Shekvod hakoruna, kamo liftoach rishon או ליטול מונה יפה rishon וכדומה, מדברים שאנו מחויבים לכבדם, ניתן להם רק לאנוסם. It's for their enjoyment. לפיכך ביודו למחול וניתן רשות לאסור להשתמש בו. ויש מי שאומר שאינו יכול ליתן רשות להשתמש בו, אלא אם כן יש לו איזה הנוע, כגון בשכר. Meaning you ask the Kohen, make for me a cup of tea, but you're going to pay him. I'll get 10 pounds. Oh, okay, then you're allowed to. או אפילו בחינם לאדם חשוב, שהוא חופש, he wants to משמש his Rebbe. Okay. ונהנה מזה. אבל אם אין לו שום הנוע, if he doesn't have no הנוע for it, you just tell him, please bring me a sitter, please bring me a chumash, אין יוכל למחול. The Kohen can't be Michael that. דאף אגב תקובד יוכל למחול, שימוש עניין שבזוינו. וטוב לאח ולכתחילה. ולהשתמש בהם שריות בזויות, בוודאי יש לזר. So the Mishabur is going back and forth. Could he be Michael? Well, if he gets something out of it, he could be Michael. If he not, meaning so, if he can make the college, I'll get paid for it. It's my salary. If he's Mishamash his Rebbe and he wants to Mishamash his Rebbe, Adam Choshev, like we know, okay. But it's not to say, clean up the floor. You tell the Kohen, please clean up the floor, or do something which is not respectful, not dignified. You're not allowed to. That's something was that. Look what the Bialocha says, even smaller letters. Also, l'shtamish b'kohen, the kohen b'kohen, efshel shemutam. Meaning, if it's a family of kohanim, so could a father tell his son kohen clean the bathroom? Could he? Efshel shemutam because they're all kohanim. וגם יש שמצדים להקל בכהן המאורץ, ומכל מקום בשריוס, בזריוס, בוודאי נוכל לזהר. Rabbi, do you know that the Chofetz Chaim says that speaking Lashon Hara about a Kohen is an extra Aveira? What? Yeah, okay, good. That's not the yeah. He said because it's you're violating the Kiddushtoi. If you speak Lashon Hara about a Yid, it's terrible. If you speak Lashon Hara about a Kohen, it's even worse. You know when he counts all the Esim and Leishim in the beginning of the Sefer? He says if the one that you're talking about is a Kohen, it's another Aveira. That's what Chofetz Chaim says. So Rabbi said what the Maral is saying here, that the Kohen is Agav the Mishkan, and we treat him as one of the Klei Mishkan, it's a whole sugya. It's a Yerushalmi. I have no doubt the man was referring to that. He's always referring to something. Rav Hutner Zatzal once told me. Rav Hutner Zatzal once told me. He told me the following. I want to say something. Oh, everything that the Maral says, I could show it's source in Chazal. That's what he told me once. He was referring more to the Galata part. Everything that he says, I could show you it's written already in Chazal. Here's an example. The Kohanim are Klei Migdash. And when the Mishkan was Nimshach, they were Nimshach with him. Pinchos then was a minor, he wasn't included. Later, he missed the boat. So, anybody here at Kohen Chutz Ari? Baruch! You know, it's not a push up that you go and bring Sfarim or whatever. You know, Be'emes, we got to think about it. You know, sometimes we ask, when we're sitting up there in Shal Shudas by Dan Geli, and then we ask you to bring this. It's not so push-up, Chavre. It's not that push-up. If you have a son-in-law who's a Kohen, it's not push-up. That you can ask him, do this, could you please bring for me a cup of tea? And if he gets no from it, it's so again, two opinions in the Mishnah Berurah. Could it be Michael? Usually the Kohen's Michael. But he's not always beyond to be Michael. That's answer number one of the Maral. Yes?
Even when Nimshach afterwards, if something happened to him,
No, afterwards, Kenim Shasa Moshe Meshichasa Mekachasan. Afterwards, Avoidasa Mechachasan. No, there was no more Meshicha. It's a Meferish Gemara. Rabbi say, you see, when I was doing the Guraria, I wasn't aware that every word of the Maral is alluding to something. You know, when I run on the Sarah on the bottom, he's saying a big swear that the Kohen's like the Kelim. I don't know where he got it from. That's what the Bala Oris wrote down. It's a Meferish Gemara. It's a Yerushalmi. You cannot so known. But it's brought down in the Ramah. And there's a Mishnah Berurah on it. It's serious business, guys. And the fact that Rabbi is always the one who brings the Shas and then Lo Pashut. Lo Pashut. Yitzhak, you're being nominated. Yitzhak, a Levi, no? Oh no, you're allowed to do a non-Levi. Rabbi said that's answer number one of the Maral. Look, that's what Rabbi said. What we learn well today? The first part that we learned doesn't appear on this sheet at all, of the Indian of Ben Adam L'Chavero is result-oriented, Ben Adam L'Makom is deed-oriented, and the chiluki between the word of Abitzak Blazer, that I think is worth £1 million. The emes. That Lifnim Meshur Sadin is only Ben Adam L'Chavero, not Ben Adam L'Makom. It's Nifla Moed. That's answer number one of the Maral. But now comes another answer in the Maral. That Maral letter Bet, the first 6 lines is Bet. Now comes letter Vav, because we did already all what's on the bottom. Look what he's going to say now. V'od yesh lomar. I'll tell you another reason why Pinchos was not Nimshach oriented or anointed. Answer number one, he was a katan then, and then afterwards it was just too late. Now he's going to say, you know what? It could have been he was a gadol. Harav Kadurovich. Okay, today Marv's till 10:20, so everyone can stay. Everyone can stay. There's no rush. Okay, you do what you have to do. Call to Rabbi say. Rabbi say, answer number 2. How come Pinchas wasn't Nimshach? And again, he's saying how you said whenever he says something, it's a shorish and Torah. But Emma said, we're saying, the older I get, I notice it. Whatever. This one I have though. When I was doing it. But another teretz. We have the sheets. Rav Kadul got a sheet? Yeah, good. Okay. What yesh lomar? The miut b'amshach yoter adif. We want to avoid anointing as much as possible. Why? The lo nimshchu el otan shayu muchachim nimshach. We only were moshech only those that we had to. Ulevikach Aaron levonav. The law of Shabbat, Aaron has 2 children, you have to. You can't just Aaron because it's just going to be Moshechem. That won't work. After he was anointed, he didn't have 2 children. If you could just going to anoint him and he'll die, it's over. So you can't do that. So just to anoint Aaron a Kohen is not an Eitzah. Ulefikach, Mashach Aaron Uvonav. Which two? The two are there. Itamar and Elazar. I'm adding they were young men, and they still had children afterwards. Avol Bnei Elazar v'Itamar, they were already born before. The Efshar below him. We don't need that. Because Elazar and Itamar can have children that will be born after the anointing. Ve'yoter adivka shenoyla b'kedusha. Lekach lo nimshach Pinchos. And no answer, says the Maral. What's called in English tzikakum, someone who became a tzikakum. By Koruna, we're trying to avoid tzikakumens. Meshicha means till now he wasn't a Kohen, and now he became a Kohen. No. We want those who were born into Koruna. If there's no choice, there's no choice. But we're going to minimize tzikakumens. We're going to minimize it. And therefore, what are we going to do? Aaron has to be Nimshach, even though he was already he was born. He was already 83 years old. But he's going to be the Kohen Gadol, he has to be Nimshach. No way out of it. If you're just going to do him, he's an old man, he didn't have any more children afterwards, well, he'll die, everything's over. So that's not an Eitzah. You have to pass it on to the next generation, Elazar v'Isamar. Now, Elazar v'Isamar apparently were people 35 years old. They had already children before, but in Mitzvah Hashem, they can have no children from now on. There's no need to anoint the children they had earlier, Pinchas included. There's no need. How will the kuna go on? They're going to have children from now on. So So some of Elazar you have to anoint. Yes. The children they're going to have from now on will be born b'kedusha. So fine. And therefore Pinchas was left on the side.
You got a case of two brothers.
What?
You got a case of two brothers who both can, and one can do that, but one can't.
Yeah. 100%. Pinchas could have done it, and the one that's what came out. Now Pinchas got it also because my sister. But if without my sister, they want to know what is
Why
the
did you have to do Elazar and his son?
what?
Why did you have to do both Elazar and his son?
That I know. I guess there was a lot of avoided to do. I don't know. I guess. But you're right. Maybe one brother would be enough. I hear. It's a good hair. I don't have a clear answer to that. But we're going to minimize the Mashiach. Because we don't want tzikakumen. Rav Kaduret, you know what tzikakumen?
Yeah.
Yeah? Became. It happens a lot in Chassidim. There's a tzikakumen. Right? Now, what does the Maral mean? We want those who are born into it. What does it mean? Ma kavanato. This, I think I know what it means. It's brought down in footnote 52. Okay? At footnote 50, give a look. Ki adif shiyu kohanim shenoldu v'kedusha ma'asher shenitkatshu lachar shenoldu. We want kohanim that are not tzikakumens. Why not? V'nire la'atim svarazu. Again, the word la'atim means to make it geshmak. That Ramesh Shapir used to use it. I don't know of any other word that you could say geshmak. Ki kvar yishrisha maral b'derech chaim perek dam mishir dalet. Shekeser kuruna hu keneged haguf. I'll give a little background. The Maral says over there that we have three ksarim: Keser Kuruna, Keser Malchus, and Keser Torah. Says the Maral it's corresponding to the three layers that every individual is made from. He has a guf, he has a nefesh, which is the emotional side, and he has a neshama. Kohanim, we'll speak now, focus on Kohanim. Kohanim are, HaKadosh Baruch Hu selected one tribe out of Am Yisrael to illustrate through them that the guf of a yid is also holy. And the Kohanim represent Kedusha Saguf. Rabbi say, where do you see the Kohanim are goofy? How do you see it? Oh, that's an excellent proof. That's what Rabbi brings it. That mum disqualify. Where else do we find that mum disqualify? By Sanhedrin. Only. Could a chazan be a Baal mum? Says the Mishnah, he's a better chazan. Lev nitka v'nishba lukim lo tivzeh. Could a Rav be a Baal mum? Fine. No problem at all. A Kohen can't be a Baal mum. Says the Baal, I'll tell you why. Since when in Judaism do we disqualify people based on physical limitations? He says, of course you don't judge the human being based on this physicality. But a Kohen represents the guf. A mum is the chison in the guf. Where else do you see that the Kohanim is goofy? You know what he says, Baal? The mere fact that it's a hereditary automatically. Malchus, ibnoi kodem, yeah, if not. Torah for sure not. Masha'en ken Kohuna, if the father's a granddaughter, why is it automatically inherited? Why? What would you say? Where's that show? If the father's a Kohen, The children are Kohanim. If he got married to a Gusha, he desecrated them. But stop, it goes on. It goes on. Rav Ari's a Kohen, his sons are Kohanim. His children are Kohanim. The same thing with the Brach. It's automatic. Mazamare. What do you think, Mazamare? The fact that it's hereditary, what's the child?
Biological.
That's a din in the goof. Why? The goofing we get from our parents. The Gemara says you get... Come with the God. We get 5 from the father and 5 from the mother. Alright. We get it. Masha Enken. You know how come Torah is not hereditary? Torah is not hereditary because it's the neshama. The neshama we don't get from our parents. The neshama Kodesh Baruch Hu pumps in every time anew. There's no Yerusha in Kesed Torah because that we don't get from our parents. Kesed also the same thing with Malchus. Im bno lo is efshar, but otherwise no. Rabbi said, but Kesed Kuna, the gufim we get, we're born with it. Meaning other things you have to earn it later on in your life. That means you're not born with it. But the goof, you're born with. You're born with a goof. A kid's born, he has a goof. Right as a pelly, he has already 10 fingers, 10 toes. It's Gavaldic. He's born with a goof. The fact that it's an hereditary and you're born with it, what does that show? Okay, we're going to have a minyan? We'll have a minyan, Rabbi Say. Okay, call to Rabbi Say. Okay, good. We have to enable people to love it, come and go whenever they want. We have to do it. Okay? But said Rabbi Say, the fact that the Moral explains, Kuna, and that's what he's saying here. So we don't like Tzigi Kumins by Kuna. Kuna has to start with birth. Because it's reflecting that it's a goof. It's essential to what it's all about. That's what he says. Give a look, Rabbi. So let's see in footnote 52. I'm sorry?
It's not in Ikon, it's Levi.
Yeah. No, there's a Kedusha here. There's a Kedusha. Here. Rabbi said, Ki kvar yishir shemal b'der chaim. Shekesed kuna keneged aguf. We're in the third line. Ki ha-kuhuna hi maila u'kedushas aguf. שהרי כהן הוא נוילה בקדושה והכהונה תוילה בטיפה שנוילה בין הכהן וזהו ההפרש בין כהונה ובין כסר מלכוס ובין כסר תורה כי כסר כהונה היא קדושת הגוף ולפיכך הנולד מן הגוף הוא גם כן קודש ולא כן המלך כי אפשר שאין בנו מלך ומכל שכן אצל תורה שאין בנו שתלמיד חכם בוודאי בעל תורה וזה העם שיש לו המעלה הזאת מלכוס ותורה אינו נותן לבן הנפש ולא השכל אבל הגוף הוא מן האב יעתי בו ולפיכך הבן יוירש את הכהונה הרי שביאר שהביטוי לקדושת כהונה, לעומת מלכות ותורה, הוא שהרי הכהן הוא נולד בקדושה. ולכך בריא הוא שישנה עדיפות לאותה קדושה כאשר נולד בקדושה. Therefore, that's what the Maral means here. We don't want Tzigah and Kohanim. Kohanim should start when you're born. If there's no choice, there's no choice. But if there's a choice, we're not going to do it. That's for sure, that's what he means here. It's Pasha to me. It's Pasha to me, that's what it means here. That's what it means, Kedusha's Kehuna. Rabbi, you know what? I'll give you an example. Rashi said in last week's parsha, what is about this question? 5 pounds to whoever answers this question. 5 pounds. Let me show you. I have 5 pounds. I want to show you. Usually something, yeah, I have. It has a little window in it. It's gewaltig. Rabbi, I want to ask you a question. Rashi says in in the previous parsha that how did Moshe Aaron to go up to Hor HaHar? What did he tell him? Ashrecha shetira kisrecha masum levanecha. Fortunate, you'll see your crown given over to your children. Asher ein ani zakai lekach. What do you say about the following kasha? Moshe has nothing to do with chusim. You represent Torah. In Torah, there's no Yerusha. Aaron represents Kuhuna. In Kuhuna, there's Yerusha. It has nothing to do with zakai, not zakai. Ma kesher. The nature of the Kesser we're talking about. Now, but Pasha is referring to Moshe Rabbeinu as Kesser Torah. Now, you could say he's a Melech, maybe we're referring to that, but that's a little bit doichak. He's not called Moshe Malkeinu. He's called Moshe Rabbeinu. The Rebbe. So what do you mean, Ein ani zakai lekach? Ze lo kashor lezakai v'lo zakai. Kesser Kuhuna is b'Yerusha. Kesser Malchus, Kesser Torah is not b'Yerusha. נכון שאלה עצומה? שאלה בומבה, לא?
No,
it has nothing to do with Susim. No. It has nothing to do with Susim. You got Kesser Torah, which is more. Kesser Torah is higher than Kesser Kuna. You got more. And the fact that it's not B'Yusha is not because you lack Susim. It's nothing to do with like Susim. It's the nature of what it's about. I think it's a gewaltige kasha. Rabbi Yomin, at the maskim? I'll tell you maybe what we can answer. We're just out. But when I was there's one of the things that I regret the most in my life that I did when I was a teenager. Let me tell you what it is. When I was 16, 17, 18, or even 19 years old, till then, my father, we lived in Bnei Brak, and whenever Rav Hutner Zatzal said a mimer in Yerushalayim, he drove in. And he would ask me, "You sure you want to come?" So I would ask, "Daddy, what language will it be in?" Yiddish. No, I don't speak Yiddish. Bye. V'lo halachti. I missed about 20 mamarim. And then after my father was nifter, and I said to myself, you probably wouldn't want me to go. I'll go. I'll be in Yiddish, I won't understand it. But if I'll stay at home, I also won't understand it. So I said, I'll go. And I understood it. You know why? Because a lot of the words is quotations from Chazal. And then Ben Leben, I helped. You know, did I ever tell you what he said there? And that what first time that I heard from him? Tashma Rab David. Rab David, Tishma, Amamar Rishon Shemat Mi Rav Hutner. He said the following. There were 5 zugas. You remember the zugas? Who are the 5 zugas? Yeshua Rabbi Yosef ben Yezer, Rabbi Yeshua ben Prachya v'Nitai al-Baili, and then no, that's much. There's a third one, and then there's Rabbi Shimon ben Shatach Rabbi Yehuda Taboy, and then there's Shmai Vaftalion, and then there's Hillel Vashamai. This is a period of about 200 years. None of them were father and son. Not one of them. From Hillel, Biz. He said Biz. I know what the word Biz is, but I picked it up. Since then I know. From Hillel, Biz Rabbi. Biz. Biz in Hebrew, tell me Biz in Anglida. Kachashavti. Biz means still. It's Dafka Ben Achal Ben for 7 generations. Hillel, Rabbi Shimon ben Hillel. Rabbi Gamliel ben Rabbi Shimon ben Zokin. Rabbi Shimon Ben Achal Ben. 7 generations. Makara. What happened? 5 generations, none of them were Ben Achal Ben. 7 generations, Dafka Ben Achal Ben. Makara. Farana Ramo Mipano. What does Faran mean then? Nimtza, right? That's what it means there is. Ramo Mipano, first time I heard that name. I found out after, so Menachem was Ramo Mipano. And he says something, the Mishnah Brura quotes it. The Mishnah Brura quotes this Ramo Mipano. In Siman Nun, I'll tell you. Farana Ramo Mipano, he wrote a sefer called Asura Mamoris. And you know what he says? He asks this question. And you know what he answers? In the days of Hillel, Malchus Chashmonaim fell apart. And then Keser Torah absorbed into it Ginunei Malchus. And from now on there's also Yerusha and Torah. Like by Malchus. She'im b'noi kodem, im b'noi roi hu kodem l'chol adam. Meaning, when there was Malchus on its own, and the Torah's net Keser Torah, there's no Yerusha and Torah. But once Malchus was Mizbatel, so who's going to keep and everything comes from the Torah? Man Malchi Rabbanan, Bi Malochi Mlochu, right? From now on, there's also Yerusha in Torah as well. And that's a come from Hillel onwards, there was Yerusha. I'm asking you, we're small oil, isn't it connected to come? I'm asking you, aren't these oitzers gewaldig? That is gewaldig. This Ramo Mipano, the Meshura brings it in Simanu, they even buy a chazan, maybe there's Yerusha. If the son has a nice voice. That's what he says. And the Chassam Sofer, I looked into it, in Chelik Orachaim, Siman Yud Abeis and Siman Yud Gimel. He dedicates 2 tshuvas to this Ramo Mipano. 2 tshuvas to this Ramo Mipano. What was the most common din Torah that exists the last 800-900 years? A Rav was niftar, or Rashi was niftar, and the son wants to take over. The Almana says also, and the Tzibur doesn't want. יש ירושה ברבונוס או אין ירושה ברבונוס? הרב קנטוני, מה אתה היית אומר? יש ירושה ברבונוס או אין? The Chassam devotes 2 tshuvas to this. Okay, I don't know this again. That I don't know. But, okay, I'm sure I'm probably quote it. And the Chassam Sofer says, after I found the Ramo Mipano, Baruch Hashem zikisi lekol Rabbonei Yisrael, that they can have a shtickle Yerusha in their thing also. That's what he says. Now, maybe you could say the following, and this is just a little bit of a leap of faith. I want to know if the Olam would agree. just like once Malchus was cancelled, Keser Torah absorbs into it Dina Yerusha. Before Malchus started, maybe Keser Torah also had Dina Yerusha. And Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, my son, Ein ani zakei lekach. Maybe you can say that's why. The Ramah Pasuk says once there was Malchus and it was cancelled. So then Torah absorbed Ginunei Malchus. How do you say in English Ginunei Malchut? Royal Ginunim. Okay? Maybe, tell me if the Olam agrees to that svara. If you say that Torah is the shortage of everything, and when Malchus was cancelled, so Torah now absorbed, like it says that everything came back because of Moshe Rabbeinu. Aaron Yaakov, Torah is everything. It was illustrated, Aaron Yaakov was illustrated through Aaron HaKohen. The bear was because of Miriam. When they died, it stopped, but then we got it back because of Moshe Rabbeinu. Torah is all-inclusive. Just when it's a separate branch, okay, so you have a separate branch. But once you don't have a separate branch, or it was stopped, or it never started.
But then you'd see it in Shoftim.
What? Oh, so the question is, where does it start? So, by Sheni, there was never Malchus Beis David. Not that it was cancelled. We never had it. So, but you're asking good, Shai. You're asking good. Maybe that would be what Moshe Rabbeinu meant. Ein ani zakei lekach. Efsher.
Can you say that before Corona started, it was within Keser Torah?
Probably.
And therefore, even more than the Yerusha of Malchus, there was the Kedushas Haguf of that was in Moshe Rabbeinu as well. So that would for sure have gone to his firstborn son.
Meaning that he wasn't. That's what Yonis was maybe saying. That what did he can a rich. First of all, I don't know if there's a moment about Kuna to say that. I don't know. If you want to say it also by Kuna, that's I don't know. But Lamazakin, you're right. Let's say you're right. So, meaning Moshe Rabbeinu was supposed to be initially the Kohen as well.
Yeah.
And then maybe I don't know. Maybe that's also Mahalach. It could be.
Because the Bechorim were originally meant to be presumably the.
No, but the prayer was supposed to be with Levim. It depends what they were supposed to do, which function. It's not Pasha.
Oh, I see.
It's not Pasha. But anyway, Rabbi Yisai, so look what we did today. Cheva, yatzanu b'chush gadol. מסכימים? רבי ימין, בחוש גדול? רב שלום, אתה מסכים? רבי יונסון, חצי חוש גדול. We learned the Rabbi Tzuk Lazar. We learned about these two Yesodis of the Maral. That a Kohen, now you go home and tell your wife, I'm a menorah. I think you went to learn menorah when you were a kid. Or you Hasmo. Oh, Cheshbonim is also part of they were going, I'm a Kli Mikdash. To tell me go clean the bathroom, not that pashut. Not that pashut. But again, it's a mishlam. Everybody's quiet, so maybe I don't know. And if you, but Moichel is not so pashut. That's another yisod that we learned. And then this yisod the Roman panel. And then I did understand Mefutnes Yiddish. I did understand it. Not every word, but I picked it up from here and there. And I had such charot. The 5-6 mamam that I did here, I remember when he took off the glasses, when he put on the glasses, guys. Because it was a positive trauma. A positive trauma. It's like Mama I've seen at a certain degree. That Lamdu v'lo shachachu. It was Mamash. I remember that mimer, after he left, people started to dance. Spontaneously. No one organized it. The Mamash felt simcha. How he explained it, and he connected to Chanukah, Malchus. Gewaldig. That now Torah has Hanogas and Malchus, that Ramoni Pano. But I would have known another 20 mamar. And I know because it's in Yiddish, I'm not going. How much tipshus? That's what, when you're a teenager, you do such foolish things. It's just atzless. And I had a car ride backwards and forward. So what even if I just see him, it's also something, but I don't understand that then. What do they say? It's a pity that the youth is wasted on the young, Mashu Kazeh? Such kind of expression?
Education is wasted.
I'm sorry?
Dr. Coleman used to say, education is wasted on the young.
Education. Here. Rabbi says, I want to wish all of us, tonight's already Yud Zayin Tammuz. Yeah? Could you take a shave tonight? I don't think so.
You can eat tonight.
What?
You can eat tonight like on your shave tonight.
It's like the 3 weeks. The 3 weeks started. What happens if you're in the 3 weeks? Again, okay, I'm speaking according to, I guess it depends on your minhag. Achenu Asfarim, I think it's just a hold of the 9 days. Right? Harav Kedu is not nachon?
Not even.
Shavuot Shechalbo. Not the 3